Welcome once again today to Estate Planning 101 with Dr. Titi Adegbile. It's wonderful to know you're there, listening and viewing. Today we want to take a very important topic, and it says, who is a next of kin? Who is a next of kin? Many of my viewers and listeners are employees in the civil service or employees in a corporate organization. It follows that you have a personnel file with HR, you have personnel records. Very importantly, are you the head of HR, the head of human capital in your organization? Clearly, you need the information in this episode. You're probably accustomed to hearing that a fellow employee dies and World War III ensues after his death. Beneficiaries begin to slug it out with one another. Property issues actually uncover the real character in a person. Unfortunately, at such a time, the one who worked hard to acquire property is gone and cannot witness the greed of his people. He cannot monitor how his hard-earned property is distributed or utilized. Some family relations degenerate into full-blown litigation crisis, and this could continue for years. But this is avoidable. It is avoidable by effective and proactive planning and intentionality. Some employees believe that once they have stated the identity and contact of their next of kin in their employee records, that it will suffice for the purpose of identifying the beneficiaries to your estate. But that is erroneous. A next of kin may not be a beneficiary at all. So, who is a next of kin? A next of kin is the closest living relative of a person who has died without a valid will. Such a relative could be through blood or legal relationships. A next of kin may not be a beneficiary at all. He or she is usually just a close relative who you could contact where the need arises. Such need could be in the event of accident, missing individual, incapacitation, where someone is unreachable, or other eventuality. Being a next of kin does not confer legal right to acquire property or assets, or money in bank accounts or pension, and so on. So, to ensure that wealth or assets are moved to a next of kin, that next of kin had to be stated in a will or other estate planning instrument. A legal and valid will, that is a will that has been properly executed, covering inheritable property, usually takes precedence over the statement of an individual as someone's next of kin. Therefore, identifying a next of kin is less important, at least legally, if the person who died left a will or was married. If an organization should pay entitlements to a next of kin merely because he's a next of kin, they could be courting trouble. They could land in a litigation. A next of kin is not entitled to anything from the deceased staff estate if he or she is not listed as a beneficiary. A next of kin can be a beneficiary if and only if he is stated as a beneficiary in an estate planning instrument such as a will. So, with the benefit of the information you now have, you want to update your records at your workplace to reflect not only a next of kin, but to clearly list beneficiaries of your estate after you, especially for entitlements from the workplace such as gratuity, life assurance, and others. Thank you for listening today to Estate Planning 101 with Dr. Titi Adegbile. Below this video, you will see a subscribe button. Kindly click it so you will receive a notification on more episodes in the series. Also remember to share this link, like, and comment. See you next episode.